Welcome to Module 1, Video 2 from the Safe and Effective Use of AI in Education Resources.
In the first video in this module, we learned about some of the uses of AI in education and had an overview of how generative AI works. Generative AI has many uses for school and college staff, which we'll explore further in Module 4. Examples include generating lesson resources, supporting lesson planning, and creating a podcast with virtual presenters to support revision on a specific topic. We can also generate a structured report from handwritten notes or draft parental letters from notes and translate them rapidly into different languages.
But first, let's explore in simple terms how AI works. Most of us use AI tools every day without even realizing it. Narrow AI such as email spam filters, predictive text, and autocorrect all rely on AI to analyze patterns and make predictions based on large data sets. There are also other applications for AI beyond generative AI, such as adaptive testing platforms and personalized learning, and image recognition systems that describe something shown to a camera for someone who is visually impaired or blind. Generative AI is a type of AI that creates content such as text, images, audio, video, and code. This area of AI is evolving rapidly and could support education in a number of ways. It is all possible because of deep learning, which is a type of machine learning. Machine learning is a field of study within AI where a computer program is trained on data and it uses this training to make predictions based on that data. For example, in medicine, machine learning has been used to analyze large data sets and assess the likelihood of a patient developing a certain condition based on their medical history and risk factors. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and a key element of deep learning technology is neural networks. Neural networks consist of interconnected nodes designed to replicate how our brain works. These neural networks allow a deep learning model to learn from uncategorized data efficiently, making it easier to use much more data to train the model. This means we need to be particularly careful with the data and information we provide in our prompts. Avoid including personal data such as names, addresses, phone numbers, protected characteristics, and business-sensitive information such as financial details. We must also avoid using intellectual property where we don't have the permissions in place, and this could include pupil or student work. We'll learn more about this later on in the resources in Module 3.
LLMs such as ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot have natural language interfaces, which means we can use everyday text and speech patterns to give instructions to the model. These instructions are the prompts we mentioned earlier. In some models, it is also possible for a prompt to contain images or code. To summarize this process, you type in your prompt, the LLM breaks down your prompt and analyzes it for context and meaning based on the patterns it has learned. Then, it comes up with a predicted response based on its prior learning and gives this back to you as an output. This output could be text, but it could also be images, audio, video, or even code. The output often feels natural and human-like. It's important to remember, though, that an AI model isn't human, but it's designed to interact like a person might. It doesn't think, feel, or have the same contextual understanding of the world that humans have. The process doesn't stop once you've received this response. You can fine-tune it by giving further prompts. You might not be happy with the level of detail, or it might be too complicated or too long. Your follow-up prompts will improve your outputs, just like with an email spam filter where we mark things as not being spam, or when we tell our messaging apps not to autocorrect certain words.
As school and college staff, we need to avoid using personal accounts or public large language models that offer free accounts. As we mentioned previously, this is because inputting personal or sensitive data creates data protection risks. These models are typically hosted and managed by external providers, and any data you submit may be processed or stored outside of your organisation's control, potentially breaching data protection regulations. Public large language models may also use your data to develop their AI model further. Under UK GDPR, organisations must ensure that personal data is handled lawfully, transparently, and securely. Inputting such data into a public large language model risks unauthorised access, transfer of data across borders, and loss of control over how long data is used and retained. Staff should only use tools approved for use in their education setting. These accounts are often referred to as enterprise accounts. and these usually offer added protections for your data. These are often available within your school's education suites of online software, for example, in those offered by Microsoft and Google. These enterprise tools generally won't learn from your inputs, significantly reducing the risks related to data and intellectual property. If you are allowed to use public or free personal large language models by your setting, you must pay particular attention to the data you share. It is recommended that personal data is not used in these generative AI tools, as the system may store and learn from input data, meaning any data you enter should not contain information that could allow an individual to be identified. You will find out more about this in detail in Module 3.